So you are watching a show between two best friends, but this episode is all about man's best friend.
Yes, all the ways that man's best friend can uplift you and break you down, because we are going to be talking about the top 10 movie dogs right now on Movie Mount Rushmore.
Screeners, how you doing? It's me, the one AJ, Anthony Jordan.
And me, Nico Luro. We are back once again with another installment of everyone's favorite, but also most unheard of top 10 show, movie top 10 show, the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast.
Indeed. But we're growing, and that's what we're happy about. So we appreciate you for tuning in, people. We appreciate you. We thank you.
And let's not waste the people's time, because they've tuned in to hear us talk about movies. So, shall we?
Indeed. But before we go into it, what is the Movie Mount Rushmore all about?
Oh, it's basically a top 10 show between two best friends from school. Here's how the show works. AJ and I each get assigned a topic. We go our separate ways. We come right back here into this video, into this podcast, whatever platform you're watching us on, and deliver to you, the Silver Screen Dudes, our film familia, our individual top 10s. This week, AJ will go first, delivering his bottom three. I will then deliver my bottom three. AJ will deliver his next two. I will then deliver my next two. And then we will trade one apiece. If at any time while we are rounding off our individual top 10 lists, one person has a movie in a higher position, that person will say,
punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the high position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10 lists, we will create, in the words of Chandler Bing, the movie Mount Rushmore. These are the four quintessential diverse must-see movies of the genre, which this week is...
Top 10 movie dogs. Now, guys, what happened? What? Can we go?
Doggies.
Now, what happens after we've the Silver Screen Dudes have created the four must-see movies? It gets even more difficult because it goes over to you, the screeners, to crown El Capitan, El Numero Uno, the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. And in the words of Highlander, in the end, there can be only one. And how does that happen? We take the four films and we put it on Twitter. We put it out there for you to vote for. But we don't put it on Twitter. JT from We Love Movies puts it on Twitter. At Movie Polls for You, he puts it out there. Retweet it. And that's where you get to vote. And that's where you crown the winner. Last week, our topic was...
sorry, carry on. Delay. I'm looking for the poll.
Do you know what? It was in celebration of the greatest day in American history, the 4th of July. Top 10 awesomely American movies. And it was also a bit of a, it was a bit of a vibe. It was in line with my birthday the day after, but it didn't matter. We were celebrating America, not me. And that's why we came up with four awesomely American movies. And I'm hoping you've got them because I can only dwindle for so long. Our contenders were...
Oh my goodness. Got it.
There we go.
Our contenders were, to celebrate America, which I'm not going to comment. Our contenders were the original Top Gun, Rocky IV, Team America, and Independence Day.
This is quite a strong list. This is quite a strong list. Now, here's the thing. Based on the way that we went with it, I'm all for Rocky IV. I don't know if the voting public would have understood it without listening to what it was. And with that, I'm going to go for Rocky IV in 4th place.
Yes! It made me sad! Rocky IV in 4th place. Kind of
sucks.
It's stupid! I am correct here! Rocky ended the Cold War!
Yeah, I don't think people would have got it without listening to Pod.
They must have done. They should listen to Pod. But Rocky IV got 16%.
This one is tight because there's two ways. There's the nostalgia plus the fact that Maverick is in people's heads and that puts it in number one. Or they're going to be like, but it doesn't represent America as much as it does. It's just the Air Force. So that's why I'm kind of torn with Top Gun because I feel like the other two have kind of cemented their legacy in either being second and third or first and second. I'm going to go with Top Gun at number 3.
Nope.
Sugar. If this was an old channel, I would have said the full word. Okay.
Shorter word, indeed.
Yeah. So now we're talking ID4
ID4.
or Independence Day. That's what they call it, don't they?
Okay.
I don't know why, but this is called ID4. Independence Day or Team America. Oh, this is difficult. This is difficult. Independence Day?
Oh.
Team America. I knew it.
Team America. Well, you didn't, but Team America finished third. Only beating Rocky 4 by 1%. 17% for Team America.
Hot damn. Let them fight. Now, come on. It was awesomely American films to watch on Independence Day. So on the 4th of July, it has to be Top Gun at number 2, Independence Day at number 1.
Correct. Top Gun at number 2 with 22%. Independence Day stormed it, bro. 45% for Independence Day.
It had to that's big. But I think it's the whole Independence Day on their Independence Day. It just kind of makes sense, right?
Pretty much.
Well, congratulations to Will Smith. You've been forgiven in some quarters of the internet. And we progress onto movie dogs.
Yes, doggies. I'd also just like to say a quick, massive thank you to Matt from Bigger Movie Pod who joined us last week before we forget, because he was great. Week before, sorry. I loved his questions. I loved his view on Robin Williams. It was very, very in the best way, child spirited. It's like Hook and Mrs. Doubtfire. I was like, yes, Matt. Go on.
Oh,
mate.
yeah. No. He was 100% right. Had it not been a joint Rushmore, I think me and Matt could have done more of a joint Rushmore than you and I on that one, actually, because he had some great stuff. And I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, you had a guest on. How was it? Like your first guest on the new channel? I was like, he brought the right energy. It was just natural. It just felt great having him on. Everything that for someone that you've spoken to for the first time, it just blended really well. So no, thank you very much, Matt. You are greatly appreciated and always welcome back on the movie Mount Rushmore, because it was an absolute blast having you on, mate.
It was great.
Yeah.
AJ, it's over to you, my friend.
Right. So in at number 10, as anyone who's watched Silver Screen News has heard, I don't know if the news has come out actually. So anyway, you would have watched the long form storytell. I looked at this film and I thought of this man and I was like, damn, you didn't get to play Gambit. And that is, of course, Channing Tatum in the aptly named film. What's this about? Movie Dogs? What's this film called? Dog. I mean, you can't fake it. That's the name.
Not even the dog, just dog.
No, not the dog. It's Dog. There we go. Interesting movie. Basically, they're both Army Rangers. The dog has served in the army. Lulu is her name, and Channing Tatum is in this as a park ranger too. And they've both served. And the person who used to look after her dog her dog. The person who used to look after Lulu has now passed away, and Channing Tatum's trying to get re-enlisted into the army, even though he's had brain injuries along the way, but he wants to get back into the army. And one of the missions that they've done to prove that he's available is to take this dog on a cross-country road journey to this fallen soldier and friend of both of them, essentially, his funeral. This dog is also troubled along the way. You can't touch the dog's ears and stuff like that. And there's this unlikely, they just can't get along. He's just chronically getting PO'd with this dog. He's, constantly upset with it. And then in the end, it slowly starts to build, as you can imagine with a film like this. It was good. It was fun, but it didn't pull on the heartstrings the way I wanted it to. And that's why it's my number 10. It was an interesting watch of a film, but I felt like just as it's about to get deep, we moved on and we're near the end. And that's what kind of bugged me with it. I liked the journey, but it could have gone deeper.
Can't comment. I have not seen this movie. But
yeah,
listen, it was one that was on my radar.
Cool. It's on Amazon Prime if you're...
I know. I was literally ready to watch it, but I settled on my 10. I was like, not going to add to it.
Bro, understandable. Totally understandable, and I get that.
I saw, I think 4 new movies for this list. I was really like, yeah, go on.
Good on you. Good on you. Yeah, you done better than me. I actually no, we're in about the same region this week. Also, guys, I'm going to apologize if my net drops a bit more than it does. I think our local recording is just dragging a bit too much internet on me. So if I do phase out a tad, I'm seeing the logo. Maybe I've looked good the whole time. Anyway, we digress. In at number 9, I've done this purely because you know what? There are 3 things sure in life. What are they, Nico?
Death, taxes, and AJ talking about comic book movies.
And I finally remembered. I was like, damn, I've not had a chance to do this. And it's, yeah, and it's Dwayne Johnson as well. But I've always been a fan of this dog. So to see him in a movie was quite good. It's very kid orientated though, and I'm not going to lie.
That's fine. We have an audience.
DC's League of Super Pets. Yes, we are talking Ace and Crypto, of course.
I heard this is quite good.
It's very child focused. It's very child focused. And have you got any animation on your list?
Have I got? Yes, I do.
Is it available on Amazon Prime?
No, Disney Plus.
Okay, right. So, funny enough, Secret Life of Pets was also being watched by me at the same time. And I kind of stopped because I remembered this. And I was like, I really want to see Crypto. I really want to see Crypto. And it's really funny because when I stopped watching Secret Life of Pets, 2 things happened. I heard Kevin Hart's voice and they were playing Queen, You're My Best Friend, right? I then start DC Super League of Pets. And guess what? I hear Queen, Best Friend, and I hear Kevin Hart. I was like, it feels like an awkward continuation. It was fun. It was fun, but it's very kiddie. You know where it's going to go straight away. It's Crypto, Superman's dog, has come along, and he's left Krypton with Superman and promised to be his best friend. And he gets threatened by Lois Lane because she's now trying to take over the role of best friend. And it just leads into this that he's the dog who always trusted, always there. And Lex Luthor has finally got a plot. He's got orange kryptonite and has kidnapped the entire Justice League. But he hasn't caught the powers. Orange kryptonite is meant to transfer the powers. Why has he not got the powers? Well, we find out from a guinea pig who's in a pet store with Ace the hound, PB the pig, a squirrel, and I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Oh, the turtle. These 4 animals are in an animal shelter, and we then realize from the guinea pig that what Lex Luthor didn't realize is orange kryptonite transfers powers to pets. So now we've got Crypto who's lost his powers because she spiked him with cheese and green kryptonite, and these superhero pets who have now learned to have superpowers. Long story short, they do it. It's all about trust, believing in yourself, and developing further. And Crypto becomes that. It's not just about being Superman's best friend. I can have other friends. It's a sweet, easygoing movie. Ever since Jumanji, Kevin Hart and The Rock just can't leave each other alone, and this was just another film for them.
It's true.
It is what it is. And it was cool. They play into the tropes of Batman being depressed, and it gave you a kind of backstory. I don't want to spoil it. You get into Ace's backstory. It's fun. It's not like half of these other pets existed in the world for DC. Ace and Crypto did. The rest is all purely made up. Easy watch.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. You said the names The Rock and Kevin Hart. That instantly put me off wanting to see it.
But you were also told that it was good. So, hey.
I was also told it was good. That is true.
Yeah. Yes.
You're
don't expect anything great. This one, I wanted to make higher. If we take it on the title of movie Dogs, then by all means, it should be a lot higher. Is it a film about the dog? No. And that's why it's as low as it is. In at number 8 is my good friend Milo from The Mask.
No, that's a punt.
Cool. Totally respect that.
So it's funny you mention that, because that's exactly the route I've gone down. Is like, you know how we say good boy, good dog. How good is the dog? That's what is this a good doggy, or is this just like a doggy? Like, if it's a cute dog, you can make the list. But if you are he's a good boy. He's a good boy. If it's a really good doggy I'm talking about, you make the list, and you will make the list high. You may question why I put my number 8 at number 8, because the others are even gooder doggies. But my number 10, good dog. My number 10, I wouldn't say good dog. He's a cute dog. because he's so fugly. From a great movie, though, from As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson. I'm talking about little Verdell, man. Look at this thing.
As good as it gets. I have seen As Good as It Gets, but it's not. Yeah.
He's a
I'll give it that.
fugly, wuggly dog. So Verdell is a type of dog called a Brussels Griffon. If you want to see something cute, Google Brussels Griffon puppy. It's literally the size of your hand. It's like a Cabbage Patch Kid dog. It's amazing.
Oh, that is cute. That is cute.
Now, what's cool about Verdell in this movie? As Good as It Gets came up on our top 10 movies about mental health way back in season 3. For podcast listeners, if you're watching on YouTube, that's not going to make any sense. But we have a whole podcast catalog. You may go and check it out on all podcast platforms. Subscribe. But yeah, Verdell is essentially a plot device. So Jack Nicholson plays this very bigoted, very hateful elderly man who's got all sorts of problems going on. Most notably, OCD. He's got OCD in a bad way. You know, has to lock, unlock, has to wash hands with a bar of soap and then throw it away. Can't go to a restaurant without bringing his own cutlery. So he's also, he's got all sorts of problems going on. And his neighbor, gay artist, gets... Cuba Gooding Jr. makes a nice cameo in this too for your enjoyment, AJ. But his neighbor, played by Greg Kinnear, gets house mugged, gets beaten up, put in hospital. So who looks after the doggy? Well, the guy who's a germaphobe and has OCD, apparently. Jack Nicholson.
I haven't
it's
seen it.
really good.
I've not seen it, yeah.
Helen Hunt also in it. Excellent in it. But yeah, see, so the dog is essentially the vessel for Jack Nicholson to get closer with his neighbor, which essentially brings him closer to Helen Hunt, which breaks down his bigotry and his barriers, which opens his life up. The dog is a wonderful plot device, and it helps so much that the doggy is so fugly and cute.
Nice.
In at number 9. It's the one which you shocked me about having known when you guessed. So basically, every week I say a little thing before we hit the record button. And I say to AJ, I've got a really good edutainment choice this week. And goddamn, I thought I was being a lyrical genius this week because it's from a country which we've never even spoken about as far as movie productions go. It's from Hungary. I was like, our first ever Hungarian movie. My grandmother's Hungarian. Yay, I get to talk about this. And AJ's like, could I take a guess? Is it? It's like, yes. Yes, it is. And this is a movie, a powerful movie called White God. Now.
Yeah. So I've got to just be honest. I've got to give pure props to my man, John. Like John 007, as we call him on the boat, like he just has a great film knowledge. And I'm like, guys, like, yeah, what films do you have about dogs? He goes, we started going through like the bait movies, some that I'm sure will come up along the list. And he goes, but have you heard of this? I was like, yeah, what? White God? He goes, it's insane. You need to see. He didn't tell me what country it's from. He didn't say what country it's from. I found out later on. But yeah, as it went. But he said it's an insane movie that you've got to see. So that's how it went. And yeah, coincidentally, didn't get a chance to see it, but yeah, you did. So I'm happy one of us did, because I felt like it was going to be one of these edutainments of, sadly, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I've heard it's one to be seen. It made your list, and I'm all good with that.
This is a hard watch, this film. Everyone in this film, so the dog is a mutt. It's a mixed breed dog called in the Hungarian accent. It's Hagen in English, but it's Hagen in Hungarian. Hagen. Dog lovers, beware of this movie. Every human character, I am not exaggerating, every human character in this movie is I can't swear, is a not very nice person. And is a specifically not very nice person towards dogs for no reason. It's like, okay, so remember I told you I was going to give you a weird comparison.
Yeah,
Try this
I've
one
been
for
waiting
size.
to see.
Try this on for size. It's Lady and the Tramp at the point where Lady becomes like, abandoned and she has to hang on the streets with Tramp, right? In the tone, I'm not lying, of Martyr.
Two films you never thought you would hear linked together.
But listen, the movie never goes as like horrible. It never goes as deep as Martyr. Never. Not even close. But that kind of the delivery with which Martyr portrayed its narrative, very cold, very kind of like, meh, whatever. We're going to shock you and we're going to do it without repent and without remorse and without care. And that coldness, that cold tone that Martyr had made the horrible stuff that happened in that movie even worse. This is the same. Like, bad things happen to dogs in this movie, and it's delivered in such a kind of matter-of-fact, cold way, as if it's like, yeah, this is what No! Listen, you have to take a step back sometimes and be like, listen, if a movie is provoking that sort of reaction out of me, does that elevate it to being art? Does that elevate it to being more than entertainment? There's definitely an argument to be made for that, but one has to be careful about not falling into the Tracy Emin trap, which is she's an artist because she did something that no one else did. Yeah, but it lacked talent. Oh, but you're talking about her. Yes, I'm talking about her to you in a debate regarding talent and completely discrediting any artistic merit. That's where you have to be careful, because I'm like, the woman put a condom on a bed and said, that's art. And of course, every single arty-farty person in the world, ooh, that's so brooding and deep. It's like, if I take a black and white photo of a rocking chair with a 5 o'clock shade, does that make me an artist, or does that make me a copycat of every single photographer ever? The latter would be the correct answer. So while I don't think we're falling into what I call the Tracy Emin trap here, I do think this is art. It's hard hitting. So this young girl has this dog for no apparent reason. The world in this movie hates dogs. Her dog gets thrown out by her father. Now you're thinking for the whole movie, like, this is going to be a story about reunion. I mean, it is, but not in the way you think. Woo! And the film essentially follows the dog after having been abandoned with, it's kind of almost like a silent movie because you don't have much narration going on. But it shows the life that this dog leads, and every single person is, at best, very mean to him. At worst, cruel. So cruel. He gets chased out of a butcher shop with a machete the size of from the floor to my ceiling. Like, you should not have a knife that big in a butcher shop. I don't care what you do. He gets, trained to be one of those cockfighting dogs, in one of those illegal dog rings. And then it goes full Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and it's like he starts this doggy uprising and goes full vengeance on everyone. And it's like, okay, I'm not sure what you're saying, but what you're saying is moving me, and I don't like what it's moving me to. It's unsettling me. So taking a step back from that, I guess you're a powerful piece of art. But I'm not enjoying this experience. I'm aware of it. I appreciate it, but I'm not enjoying it.
Interesting. I am
intrigued.
Watch, bro. I am intrigued. I'm not gonna lie.
It's intriguing. That's the thing about it. It is intriguing, but it's kind of like, why? Why so mean? Like, why must you be mean? Why must everyone be mean?
Cool.
All right, my number 8. Another movie I've seen for the first time. Oh, I watched this last night, and honestly, I want to put this higher, but that would be being trapped in the adrenaline prison. It's like, oh, I saw it recently. It's really good. Put it higher. It's like, no. Be real with the rest of your list. The rest of your list, based on how good the dogs are, who is the gooder doggy? This dog is very good. This is a very good doggy. But I'm talking about Doug from Up. I have never seen Up. I have finally got around to seeing Up. Now, the thing that worried me about Up is that everyone talks about how great that opening 10, 15 minutes is, and it is wonderful. It is so wonderful. But then everyone's like, and after that, the movie kind of gets meh. I couldn't disagree more. There are so many times in this movie, 4 or 5 times at least, what I was like welling up and getting teary-eyed. It wasn't just the beginning. I mean, the beginning really made me go, you know, it hits hard. But there are other moments in the film which hit equally hard. They're not so beautifully executed as that opening 10, 15 minutes, which is pretty close to cinema perfection. But you've seen Up, no?
The first 15, believe it or not. Because people talk about that, I've seen the opener. That's the shock.
I am going to say, having seen Up last night, about halfway through, I was like, yeah, my top 10 Pixar list is changing with this. By the end of it, I was like, my top 5 Pixar list has changed with this.
Nice.
This movie is a work of freaking art. This belongs in the same category as Inside Out, as Toy Story 3. It's as WALL-E. It is that level. Nice. And it makes me look at it and go, yeah, Pixar need to get their act together again. Because when they're capable of making movies this good, you and me have often said that it's when Pixar focus on humans that they're not as good as when they're focused on personified objects, right? And there are a few exceptions, like Coco, for instance. But oh my God, this film is good, AJ. And while it seems silly, it's like, oh, so there's this dude who's, you know, gonna put a load of balloons on his house and float away.
It's a deeper message, isn't it? It's such a deep.
Oh my God, it's so deep. Like, I don't want to ruin it for you because you haven't seen it, but like his reasons for floating away, how he floats away, it's all linked to that opening 15 minutes. What happens to the house? What happens on his adventures once he's got to his destination? It is all linked to that opening 15 minutes. And there's so much clever like detail and things in this movie that you're just like, oh my God, this is good. But then obviously, you know, we have to talk about Doug. So what's funny about Doug in this movie, and again, I don't want to say how, but Doug has a collar, which kind of think about the big ape from Congo. Ugly, gorillas, ugly, go away. The dog has a similar collar. It's like, hi, I'm Doug. I'm a good boy. I love you. You're my master. And it's like, you've kind of got this, like, this is what a dog would sound like. Kind of goofy, but very loyal and loving. So essentially just verbalizes what a dog's thoughts would be. And it's great for that.
Nice.
And he's a very, very good boy, this Doug. But there are gooder boys.
Nice. That's one for me too.
AJ,
it's on my radar. Up has been on the radar.
I was so angry with myself when the credits rolled. I'm like, why did you take so long to watch this movie?
Life be busy, bro. Life be busy.
But it wasn't that. I was never that interested in seeing it. That was the crazy thing. And then it was just like someone actually, I can't remember who it was, but someone told me like, oh, you need to see, what about Doug from Up? And I was like, oh, I've never seen Up. They were like, what? I was like,
but WALL-E was very similar to me. I was like, no matter what people are telling me, I'm like, I don't care about a robot who's recycling. My gosh, by the end of that film, was I a WALL-E fan? You know, it's weird. It's weird how you need to do it in your own time, no matter what the world tells you.
Up is one of Pixar's greatest films. Come at me, I don't care. You're number 7.
This is a bit of a nostalgia one. I've not seen it in ages. It may be terrible, but it just feels like something that needs to be said when you're talking dogs. I'm talking Tom Hanks and Hooch. Yeah, Turner and Hooch. It's just one of those buddy cop type comedy type films that I just remember watching a lot as a kid. I really want to go deep on this, but I can't because it's been forever. It was a bit of a like filler, but memory shows me of this dog slobbering all over a car and also being like the cool cop who solves it at the end. I really want to go deeper. I'd be lying if I'd have to be reading the Wikipedia or IMDb DB synopsis right now to go deeper. I just remember it's the cool film I watched as a kid with Tom Hanks as a cop, and he had this dog who solved the crime. That is it. Like fond memory etched in the back of my head.
So I only have one question. Was he a good boy?
In the end, I
He's a
always
good
remember
dog, he makes the list.
it's a bit like Dog, where it's like he's
Dog.
he's not the one that you want to have on board, but he's lovable at the same time from a viewer's perspective. Whereas in Dog, you're like, oh my god, this dog's nuts. This one is just a bit of a stubborn boy, and then by the end of it, they make up. They're good. They're cool. He likes the dog. He likes Hooch. Turner likes Hooch. Hey, that's kind of the way I remember it.
And if anyone is going to play this game, if you keep saying good boy, there's also female dogs. Don't go there with me. Just don't. Yeah. I'm using good boy for the purpose of this podcast. Leave your agendas at the door. Let's talk movies.
Lulu's a good girl. She was a bad girl.
Lulu's a good girl. There you go. We had Lulu.
Yeah.
Lulu's a good girl. I like that. Lulu's a good girl. You're number 6.
I'm just proving a point. Right. So here we go. In at number 7.
6.
6. Yes, indeed. In at number 6. I mean, there's 2 of them. I am gonna kind of go with my voice act. I don't even know. I'm still kind of torn. Screw it. I'm talking Homeward Bound. Right.
No, punt.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Even better. That's even better because that's
one of the goodest boys.
Yeah. I'm still torn between the 2 because yes, you could go one way, Lucky, but I also like the older dog. I do. In at number 5, yeah, I was going to say it's over to you. I'm just getting excited. I just didn't get a chance to talk much because one was a film that's etched in memory, and the other one you punted me on. So yeah, over to you.
I hope you've seen this. I'm still questioning if I've put this too low.
Go.
I'm still. No, I haven't. Movie ranking would be higher. Dog ranking is where it is. I agree with my dog ranking. My number 7 is Marley and Me.
Oh, that is a punt. That's a punt. That is a punt. I know what you mean. If you're talking good boy, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Marley's a jerk. By the way, my first time watching it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I look forward to talking with you about that. My number 6, a movie which I'm sure I've told you so many times. Maybe you've seen it. I may be going mad, but I've definitely brought it up ad nauseum. But it fits here. Babe. And I'm talking about Fly, the sheepdog in Babe.
No, it's still on my list of things to see. Had I known there was a talking...
Here you go. It's a good girl.
There we go. Had I known there was... obviously, I know there's a sheepdog in it, but had I paid more attention, I would have watched it. I would have finally watched Babe because now there's a chance that it would have fit, to be honest.
So Babe is... Where Fly is so special in this movie is that she essentially becomes his mother. So, Babe, Little Piggy, it's a Roald Dahl movie, so there's a tinge of darkness to it before it gets all brighter. Pretty sure Babe is Roald Dahl.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't want to like waste our time.
No. I appreciate if I'm wrong. Let's rectify that now. Who wrote Babe? Oh, I'm so wrong. Dick King Smith.
Yeah. I don't know. That's...
My bad. Well, no. You know what? I'm glad that we fixed that before we finished the stream. So good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're all good.
So look, doesn't change what I have to say. Just I'll remove the author, but there's a tinge of darkness at the beginning of this movie because it essentially starts out in an abattoir. All the piggies, being taken to slaughter, except this one little piggy, who gets taken to market. Ironically, this little piggy went to market. And James Cromwell, who plays Farmer Hogg, goes and buys him. He's a very cute little piggy. And he arrives on the farm, and he's essentially trying to find where he fits in, right? And he makes friends with this litter of puppies that Fly and her husband, Doggy, another sheepdog I've had. I can't remember his name, which is killing me. But then obviously, as with happens a lot, when you have a litter of puppies and you're in one of the countryside houses, the puppies get given away. So about a third of the way through the movie, puppies are gone. Fly gets, mummy depression. And there's this wonderful moment where Bade walks in and goes, Fly, can I call you mum? And that's when they really, it's lovely. And that's when they become properly bonded. And then she trains him on how to be a sheepdog. In his case, they're a sheep pig. And he becomes so good at it that he starts being entered into competitions instead of being grown to be fat and tasty. He becomes a valuable working member of the farm. How he does it, I'm not going to tell you, but there's a very, very, very good humanizing message on how he goes about this feat, how he becomes a sheep pig. Dude, I keep telling you to watch this. You cannot but smile when you see this film. It's charming. It's wonderful. It's really, really heartwarming.
You've got me doing something. If it's available,
definitely one your missus will enjoy. 100%. Même si c'est du porc.
Yeah. Okay. It's paid for Amazon, so I will find means to watch it. Cool.
Hey,
okay.
Vision.
That's the one. That's the one. Right. In at number 5.
You counted my 7. That was my 6. So
I keep thinking you've done, but yeah, okay. This is
cool. I am. You're 5.
Okay, it was my 5. Right. So yeah, my number 5 is good old Charlie from All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh, that's a deep cut.
Yeah, man. Like, I can't remember what season it was or when it came up. I did kind of have flashbacks that we've either done Pets or anything before, because I remember you mentioning this film and I hadn't heard of it. And then I finally got a chance to watch All Dogs Go to Heaven. And
quite dark, huh?
Yeah. What makes All Dogs Go to Heaven darker is that the voice actress, who was so amazing and touches your heartstrings, that you find out she didn't live much longer past this film, really does hurt. That's something to research.
No kidding, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't a great, I believe it was a murder. But anyway, I don't want to make it too dark. But the film starts with what you feel like your normal animation, it's bit of a shady dog gets attacked and killed by, is it Carface? Yeah. So you feel the vibes and you're like, this is going to be an easy one. And the dog's off to go to heaven, but comes back down and he's out to exact revenge. And along the way, while trying to exact revenge, comes across this young girl in an orphanage who can talk to animals, so it helps along the way. And this journey of, first of all, using someone and gradually becoming into a friendship. And I just want to leave it there, because if you've not seen this film, it's unfair for me to go where it goes. But as I said, from using to building into friendship proves that Charlie does indeed become a good boy. And All Dogs Go to Heaven, we really find out how and why. Yeah, it could be a touching film. It could be. It was not what I expected. That's the thing,
Don Bluth is a messed up animation director. This is the same guy who did The Secret of Nim. His movies are dark,
and I'm pretty sure Land Before Time, which I maintain is the one that touches me more than giving me anything to do with Bambi's mother. Like, no disrespect, Littlefoot's mummy hurts me a lot more.
So much more. So much more. I agree.
Oh God, I've got shivers that I didn't want to have shivers for, man. Yeah.
And it's the follow-up with Littlefoot's mum. Like, when he sees his shadow and then he thinks it's her and he realizes she's gone, it's like, oh my God, leave the kid alone. Jesus.
Yeah. Definitely the beats of Mufasa were definitely inherited from
You don't mess with Don Bluth. He's an amazing animation director, but he's dark. He's really dark.
Was it also American Tail? I made sure I kept both films in the poster when I cropped it. Bear with me a second. Yeah, American Tail.
Director of an American Tail and The Land Before Time. There you go. Yeah. Is there a Don Bluth collection?
Be an interesting one, isn't it?
Thumbelina,
If he's done at least 12 films, it would be worth it.
Amazon, come on, talk to me. Don Bluth, DVD and Blu-ray.
Nice.
Oh, he also did Anastasia. That was a good film.
Do you know, I've not seen it. I'm not going to lie. And say
it's really good, AJ.
I need to do
him. Bartok, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Titan AE. Good?
Sorry?
Titan AE.
I haven't seen. Thumbelina, which I personally really like. Anastasia, I love. All the Land Before Time movies. Yes. I'm sure we're missing one. But yes, he's done.
He's done hit some bangers. He's put some bangers. Nice one.
He really has. Yeah, good.
The
Pebble and the Penguin. Yo, I remember the Pebble and the Penguin. Yo, what a walk. The Troll in Central Park. Yo, he's done bits, this guy. I didn't realize.
Underrated directors, guys. There you go. Don Bluth.
Damn.
There we go.
That's cool. Happy with that discovery.
Nice.
Right, my number 5 was the punt from earlier, Milo in The Mask. This is a good boy.
Oh, of course.
He's a very good boy.
100%.
I mean, the only reason for not putting him higher, there's 2 reasons. One, he starts off as kind of a bad boy. Think about it.
Yeah.
Man's got banknotes. He's got peas in his cupboard, and the dog's like trying to open up the cupboard when the police officers there's like, no.
But one could argue that is being a good boy. He's being a law-abiding citizen.
Master first, law second. Laws of canines.
I get that. But Milo's lovable.
So, and also remember when he was trying to. Why am I blanking on Jim Ipkiss?
Stanley Ipkiss.
Stanley Ipkiss, thank you. Oh man, I would have pulled that faster in the past. It's when Milo's breaking him out. He does that amazing jump up into the prison, and then instead of going to get the keys, he gets the cheese, and he's like, "Rrr." It's like, no, you dummy dog, the keys, not the cheese. Also, he's not solely good by himself. He has a little bit of superpower help.
Yeah.
He's not naturally he's naturally a good boy, but he doesn't achieve his levels of being as a good boy without the help of the good mask.
Yeah. But Milo was so lovable. Like it was so weird because, you know, again, a lot of these films are the main focus is the dog, and that's why I was like, but it was just in my head. I was like, I can't not put Milo in, man. Milo is a movie dog
of course.
I'm down with.
Milo has to be in there.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm glad you gave him good credit to be where he's at. Yeah,
put down the cheese. Put down the cheese. Huh? Put the cheese down.
But it's when he's going back to that jump, and Jim goes like, "Put some effort into it." And when he finally does it, it's one of those fist pumping moments in the movie. It really is, you know. It really is.
It's great.
And as you said, that point where he becomes super good doggy, you're like, oh my god, this is awesome. Yes, Milo. Like it's got so many cool moments.
It's great, isn't it? When he lowers his face into the mask, it's like, dude, what are you doing? And then he turns around and it's like a devil dog.
Can I be honest? And it sounds so insane to say this, yeah. But the excitement I'm feeling now, it's kind of reminiscent, and it's going to sound so insane to do this, but AJ and comic book movies can do it. It's like when you see Captain America with the hammer. It's like, yes, he's got the mask, and it just.
What a comparison!
But a factual one though. You get it, don't you? When you see the head going in, you're like, oh my god, he's actually going to do it, and you're like, yes, go for it, go Milo. Like,
what awesome. I love is what I love about that whole Milo and the Mask thing is that as well as being legitimately terrifying, because when that face goes in the mask and he turns around and he does a whole thing, he's got the tinge of comedy too, because when the guy, you know, bricks it and leaves, he then goes, you know, and just laughs into his face, and then goes around the corner and pees on him from above. I'm like, Milo's got jokes, you know. Yeah. Gotta love it.
No,
it's lols, mate. Your number 4.
My number 4. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. Quite a touching film. Hatchie, A Dog's Tale.
Heard of it, not seen it.
Quite a touching film. And
I
it's
watched Marley and Me, and I knew this was sad, and I was like, I can't deal with more sad doggies.
this one I'd heard about for a while and finally got around to watching it. So Richard Gere, it's based off of a true story that happened in, I think, 1920s Japan, right? Hence the breed of dog. Is it Akita dogs? These ones, I believe they're called. But they've made it in for like modern America. And the film starts off with like one person talking about how Christopher Columbus may not have been the first person to discover America, but he's a great hero to me, and that's why we have Columbus Day. And everyone's clapping. And this kid comes up and he's like, "My hero is Hashikuru, my granddad's dog," and everyone's just laughing at him. And then the story turns up, and it turns up as Richard Gere being this teacher who goes to a station, and this dog just randomly walks up to him, and he's like, "Who is this dog?" And he's looking for an owner but can't find one. So he brings it home, much to his wife's dismay. She's like, "What is this?" He's like, I'm not here to keep it, but there was no one else to look after it. I'm just going to bring it back, and we'll take it somewhere and find out if someone can claim him tomorrow or something." He goes to a pound, and the guy's like, "No, you don't just check a dog in until someone's found him. Like, if you don't keep him, it's not going to be a happy ending if he stays here." And essentially, they've then decided, he goes back to the train station, no one's claiming this dog, and they decide to now keep this dog. And with that, it's like, we'll keep him until something happens. But the dog gradually becomes a part of the family. Like, but what you learn about these dogs are they do stuff off of their own instinct. You can't train an Akita dog to catch a ball. You throw a ball, it will just stand there and watch you. It won't do what it wants. You know, it's very much an emotional dog, and it does actions through its own purpose. And it starts to gradually, like, Richard Gere's daughter gets married. Just as they're about to take the picture, the dog walks in. So it's now made itself presently known as a member of this family, you know? And it starts, it's really cool. And these touching moments that happen. And the friendship between Richard Gere and this dog, like, he then, like, there's just enough of a tag. He speaks to his Japanese friend, and the guy's teaching him, like, you can't train these dogs. Like, again, literally everything I said. And part of the tag is Hachi, and that, which is number 8, but they don't know what it means, why it's called 8, but that's why they adopted the name. He will be Hashi. And you just continue the story. One day Richard is off on his way to the train station again, and the dog follows him. He brings him back to the house, just misses his train, goes to work. As he's coming back from work, the dog is there, and he's like looking for the family, and there's no one there. The dog jumped the fence and went to meet him at the station. And now their friendship has built that this dog will always walk him to the station, walk back home on his own, and come back and meet him at 5:30 every day. That's the beautiful bond that they have. I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but there's something I explained earlier that then happens. You're like, oh my God. And it's such a touching story. I can't spoil what happens next.
Don't. You've sold me. I like the sound of this film. I really like it.
Really nice film. It's a really nice film. Be prepared to be tugged, though, bro. I'm warning you. Be prepared to be tugged.
Like Marley and Me bad?
I'm not even going to say, but just be prepared to be tugged.
I don't like sadness and dogs in together. Makes me sad. But I will watch it. This does sound good.
Yeah.
That was your 4, yeah?
That was my number 4.
This may be a punt. You've definitely seen this movie. It's you know, back before he was Slappy McSlapperson, we both loved Will Smith. So I'm going to talk
this is the one that I had to, like, admit that I was aware of. I've not seen. No, I haven't seen it.
What? You've not seen I Am Legend?
No.
Oh, dude, it's really good. Really good.
No, and when I've done Movie Dogs, I thought, this again is another chance I should have seen to have seen this. Is it Max, the dog's name? Like, I'm aware of it. Sam, yeah.
So I rewatched this yesterday. And I remember the first time I saw I Am Legend, I was like, it's good. You know, it's a standard Hollywood summer Will Smith blockbuster. And then I'm seeing the reviews yesterday. I'm like, oh, is this actually worth me rewatching, or do I just go and watch another movie? And then the reviews are like 7.1, 75% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, okay. Maybe I do rewatch it. It's even better the second time. It's a really good film.
No.
It deals really well with a guy who's... So, the story is very simple. They think they found the cure for cancer. They have not. They've basically found something that, reverses the process of cancer, but also reverses your evolutionary abilities and turns you into a night-walking zombie, for all intents and purposes, right? Your favorite type of thing, zombies. But it's not kind of like, burn. It's a lot more World War Z. So it is your type of zombie movie. The zombies aren't in it much. What's fascinating is that the majority of this movie is showing you what it looks like through the eyes of Will Smith to live as what he thinks is the last survivor in New York, possibly the last survivor in the world. We don't know. But what his daily routine likes, how he survives. It's got a bit of a Last of Us vibe to it. Not anywhere near as grim and somber as The Last of Us. Not upbeat, just not that grim. And his dog, Sam, is his only friend. And you just go on this journey and adventure with him. He's a noted military scientist, so he believes that he can beat this thing. He believes he can find the cure, and it's him trying to do it from ground zero, essentially. And, Sam really, as dogs go, it's hard to be more of a good boy than Sam. Like, it's really hard. Sam saves Will so much in this movie from nasties, it's crazy. He does a few stupid doggy things, but we forgive dogs for being stupid. They're dogs. They can have their moments of but he's a very good boy. And what happens to Sam again tugs the heartstrings, but he's a very, very, very good boy, this Sam. And this is a movie I really recommend you watch, dude. Will Smith actually shows he's got some quite serious acting chops, because acting alone is not easy.
It's not easy, no.
And it's I'm not going to say more, but it's basically him acting alone for the movie.
It is on the list. It is most definitely on the list.
Good. Watch Up first. Definitely watch Up first.
Disney Plus makes it a lot easier to do that.
This is on Amazon. Free Amazon.
Oh, nice. This one that I'm about to bring up is a Disney Plus movie. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. It is The Art of Racing in the Rain.
I've not even heard of it. This is all you, mate.
So it's really funny because when I went to see Stuba, thanks to one of the plugs that you had for us way back, this was an advert, a trailer that came out in front of it, and I really thought, I don't know what this is about. What is it really about? And you just see this dog in a race car, and I was like, this look. My friend who I went to see Stuba with was quite a dog person. I was like, well, we could go, but nothing ever really came of it. It kind of came and left the cinema. And what now comes is Enzo is actually quite a touching dog. When I saw this, I was like, I swear there was a dog movie when I went to see this. Something to do with racing in the rain. Like, what the hell? And I now just happened to find it. And thankfully, it was on Disney Plus. Enzo is voiced by Kevin Costner as an old dog who's lying in his urine on his final days. And you can see his owner coming to him like, hey, Enzo, and what have you. And then we go all the way back to Enzo as a small pup. And his racing car, his owner is a race car driver trying to make it in the world. And basically, just on the way to the racetrack, stops off because he sees the signs about puppy and is instantly attracted, like instant connection with Enzo. Enzo reaches out to him. He adopts Enzo there and then from this family. And it's this whole bond. It's, dare I say, it's Marley and Me, but having the dog as a narrator for you. As opposed to where Marley and Me has the voice and you see the relationship. This is from a dog's perspective. And it hits you in so many places. I can't remember the male actor's name, but Amanda Seyfried is the female lead in this.
I like Amanda.
And you're hearing certain things where Enzo is very much like Crypto in Super League of Pet, where he's untrusting of the lady who's taken his best friend away from him. You can hear the narration of what it is, and then how he bonds with her once he realizes she's pregnant. and that's something. And then there's this moment where he's sniffing her, and he goes, "If I could give her a warning, I would, but my tongue doesn't allow. The shape of a dog's tongue doesn't allow us to talk and what have you. But he can smell that she's ill." You know, it's stuff like that, and this relationship, and it's this whole journey of him and this family and how it builds. They kind of link it into how lessons were taught with him and his owner through the race car driving, and this guy used to say this, and it kind of ties it in along the way. And there's this sentimental moment where he goes back to the racetrack with his owner. But it was actually quite a touching movie. It's not it's not rated the highest, but I really enjoyed what it gave me. I really enjoyed the beats of this film.
Again, you're edutaining me this week, bro. I can't comment on this one. It's your number 3. It must be bloody good.
Not bad, though.
My 3 is the punt from earlier. Homeward Bound.
Go. I mean, I have a lot of... I'm really shocked that I didn't know Homeward Bound as a kid. I'm God's honest truth, had never heard it.
2. It was on the whole time on like every channel. Cartoon Network show this. It's not even a cartoon.
It's weird. And the funny thing is,
better than one good doggy. 2 good doggies. Come on.
Yeah.
We've got 2 oh so good doggies in this. We've got one kind of wily veteran who's he's a vet at being a good doggy. Then we got one doggy who's learning to be a good doggy.
Yeah.
So what? Look, doggy stuff aside, it's a wonderful, wonderful story about 2 dogs and a cat who completely innocently get left with a family friend, but in their mind, they think they've been abandoned. So they go on this crazy journey across the wild American wilderness to find their way home. And en route, they encounter bears, porcupines, mountain lions, lost girls in the forest. They think they're being taken to the pound. They get trapped under train tracks. Like all sorts of bad stuff happens. But what's wonderful is that they grow close as friends. And they all evolve as characters. Like you genuinely believe, like this is a person. This isn't a good dog anymore. This is just a good person. Such is the voice talent of people like Sally Fields and Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
But it's a great film, man. It's an
great
easy
adventure.
watch.
Great adventure. Yeah.
It's a fun, easy to watch, smiley, happy adventure.
100%.
No
agree.
sad doggy stuff in this.
No, 100% agree. My number 2 is purely nostalgia. Even now that I've looked at some of the list, I'm like, you shouldn't have done this, but it just came into my head instantly as it came in, and that's what it is. I believe it's not the first film. It may be. It's not the first film I've seen in the cinema, but it's one I always remember as an early cinema view. So I had to bring him in. Beethoven. It doesn't deserve to be a number 2. There's nothing about it. He's just a troublesome dog. But the nostalgia of me being in the cinema, Beethoven is one of the earliest films I remember. And I remember when they're trying to figure out his name and he goes up to the piano and starts playing Beethoven on the piano. And you're like, oh my God. And they're like, oh, he's Beethoven. And it's a big Saint Bernard who's sloppy and causes this family nothing but trouble. Well, the dad nothing but trouble, but the rest of the family love him to pieces. And it spurned Beethoven 2nd and then Beethoven the 3rd. It's a franchise, for God's sakes, because he is that loved. Not all of them made it past after number 2. They were straight to DVD, and it wasn't as loved. But
Confession time: I've never seen Beethoven.
Really,
I tried for this list. I got about 5 minutes in, and I was like,
it's a product of its time.
In my life.
I'm very
if I
aware.
watched this as a kid, I would have loved it. Now I can.
Yeah, it's a product of its time, and I'm very sure it's a time capsule. In later dates, it might be something that you could show Leia, and then you'd have a chance to watch it from a kid's point of view. But I'm sure if I watched it now, it would have been so high. As I said, this is a nostalgia vote for me. It's just more ingrained in Turner and Hooch, and that's why it's like number 2. I'm looking at some of these other films. I'm like, no. You don't deserve to be this high. But it's the nostalgia vote. It's the nostalgia top 5.
That's fair. My number 2. It's one of the. Matt brought this up on Bigger Movie Pod with me a few weeks ago. Not in relation to our topic then, but just in relation to how good this movie was when we were talking about underappreciated hidden Disney gems. I'm bringing it up now. The Fox and the Hound.
Something told me, do you know what? I actually forgot about The Fox and the Hound. And I was like, did he forget The Fox and the Hound? And so I'm glad you had it, because it was just now, literally about 3 movies up. I was like, oh, he's not said it yet.
No.
Glad you did.
Dude, the film is fantastic. And of all the movies on this list, this dog has the best character arc of any. And it's like, well, dog a character arc. Surely dogs are there just to be good boys. This is a good boy in every sense of the word. When he's a puppy, he's playful. He has friends. He learns from Chief, who's this big lurcher dog, voiced, funnily enough, by the same guy who voices the Sheriff of Nottingham in the Robin Hood animated movie. That you hear Chief talk and you're like, well, that's the Sheriff. I can't unhear that. So it's about this Fox and the Hound. So there's this baby fox who's being hunted, and he goes and takes refuge with this old lady who kind of looks after him and raises him. Meanwhile, the same guy who is hunting this fox comes across this young gun dog, this young pup, kind of like a beagle gun dog type cross, called Copper. And Copper is the good boy, because Copper and the fox, Todd, they're like best of friends, until one winter, the hunter takes Copper away to learn to hunt. And then he comes back, all big and grown up. And he's ready to hunt, but he remembers his childhood friend. But then some things go down. I'm not going to say what, but some goes down, and they become not friends. They become sworn enemies. But, what happens at the end? He's such a good boy. He's such a good boy for what happens at the end. You will fall in love with this dog, and you'll also fall in love with the fox. But he is such a good boy, Copper. I cannot. The levels of good in this dog are just and this movie's so freaking sad. Everyone talks about the Disney deaths. No, man. When the old lady gives Todd away, the mother abandonment themes in that. Every child that has ever watched that movie from a young age is going, it breaks you. Dude, on Disney Plus.
I've seen it, bro.
Oh, you have seen The Fox and the Hound?
I've seen it.
And it didn't make your list? I
actually forgot. I actually did forget about it, which is sad. That's what I said. It was only 3 movies up.
I can't tell you about what happened. The thing when the chief falls off the bridge.
People haven't seen it. There are people who have not seen it. Keep it as it is.
Watch The Fox and the Hound. It's very good.
Yeah, you can't expose what hasn't happened. There's a lot of stuff I could have exposed earlier. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. Right. Do you have a word?
Oh, I do. Do you?
So do I. I do. And I actually like this dog normally. However, when they put him in this movie, they made him the villain. And I absolutely hated it. Not that the first film was good, but the second film was even worse, because they put in someone I liked and they made him an absolute annoying crap. Now, apparently that's what he's been seen to most people. I am not going to waste any more time. I'm talking about Scrappy-Doo in Scooby-Doo 2. Oh my gosh, what did they do? I loved Scrappy in
is
cartoon.
It when Scrappy goes all big and monstrous?
Yeah.
Oh, this sucked.
It was terrible. I was like, what have you done to Scrappy? I like Scrappy. Why have you made him? And even when they joked about the annoying part, it was that when they started to make him into the monster and the villain, I was like, this is terrible. What are you doing?
Yes.
What are you doing? Scrappy-Doo Rex, as they call it, or Scrappy Rex, was not to ever be done. Hated it. Don't do that. Do I like Scrappy-Doo? Yes. Do I like Scrappy and Scooby-Doo too? Hell no. Screw it. That's my worst.
Wow. Fair. Scrappy, I don't think was ever a good dog. I think he was an annoying little sod. But
I've always liked. Let me add
my worst on the basis of, I was talking about Sam being a good dog in I Am Legend. Copper and Chance and all that in the movies you've just mentioned. There are things that make a good dog. Loyalty, looking out for your owner, making sure they don't get hurt. All the good doggy things. Then this dog comes along and you're like, given the owner, you should be a badass dog. Nah, this dog's a wuss. And not in a way where I'm like, yeah, no, you're redeemable. I'm like, no, twat dog. Bro, the dog in Mad Max. No, but for real. For real. They've escaped the scary biker gang, yes? They have literally escaped the scary biker gang. They're in the forest, which leads down to a beach, yeah? The dog hears villains coming, and instead of like in every other movie where the dog goes and alerts it up, row, 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 row. You mean Timmy fell down the well? Row, 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 row. I don't care if it's Timmy down the well. You alert people that something happened. I'm not looking for lassie communication, but at least bark in their general direction to be like, danger, danger, alert, something. Nah, this dog just legs it. Just runs away. I'm like, what is this? And this isn't a little chihuahua. This is a German shepherd. These dogs are supposed to be like police dogs. These dogs will mess your stuff up. This dog just legs it. And then the next scene in the movie, it's like, they're literally in the same scene, but the next shot is literally just a shot of like the dog's strung up dead. And it's like, oh, you're meant to feel really bad. I'm like, no, screw that dog. Seriously, I love a dog, but what is this?
Yeah,
where's the loyalty and protection?
Yeah, should have alerted me. Yeah.
No, but for real, like, which dog runs away from their owner to save its own skin? Most undog thing I've ever seen.
Fair. I can't argue with that.
You're number one.
It's the one we punted. He may not be the good boy, but nothing has torn me more than Marley in Marley and Me. Bro, I'm going to let you run it, but I'm going to say, when I watched Marley and Me, it was Channel 5, random Sunday. I happened to be at home, and I turned this film on. And I was like, we'll see what it is. And there's something about Owen Wilson. I'm not the biggest Owen Wilson fan. Like, I can watch a film, but I give or take, you know? I was like, we'll see what this says, and I'll move on.
He's good at this.
This film not only made me appreciate Owen Wilson, it's really funny because even before I remembered we were doing Movie Dogs, I just randomly put this on Amazon. We haven't finished it because the missus was like, I'm not in the mood. But I was like, I really like this film. And one of the things I've come to realize recently about me, I may not be like a pet person or a flower person. At the moment, I'm bringing a flower. I'm saying this because as a gift for moving in. One of the missus's friends gave us a flower pot and it looked like it was dying. I've bought soil and everything. I am making sure that this thing does not die. And I remember my brother getting a cat and the same thing. He's like, I don't want this cat. Why has the missus got a cat? By the time his kid was born and they had to give away the cat, he was the most emotionally torn person. The other kids were sad. Nath was like, Onyx is my guy, man. I miss Onyx. And I've come to that understanding that even though you may not be a pet person or a flower person, when I'm that person that if you give me a thing to care for, I will go all out on it. And I know this when I've had goldfish. And
yeah, you're a good godfather. Very good.
Thank you. And I am, even the goldfish, I will do everything. I'm like, that one looks like it's on his way out, but I'm going to fight for it. We're going to fix it. That's who I am. And that's what makes Marley and Me quite relatable. He didn't really want this dog. And the bond that builds. And this dog is a terror, an absolute terror.
Such an
the way he integrates himself into the family and becomes so integral. And by the end, I am heartbroken. I don't want to spill spoilers, but I swear to you, at first I was like, oh, Marley and Me when it came to dogs. And I was like, this is my dog movie, man. This is my dog movie. I love this film. And I'm going to let you take it, but I legitimately love Marley and Me. I love the film.
I am with you. And it was such a pleasant surprise of how much I loved it. The only reason it's not higher is because of the criteria with which I'm doing my list. He is not a good dog. I'm sorry. I love Marley, but a good dog he is not. Marley's a butthole. He really is. He really, really is, man. But what's wonderful is that the movie shows what a dog means to family across generations and across various cycles of one's life. You know, the fact that this dog was with them before she was pregnant, when she had a miscarriage, when the kids came along, as the kids were growing up. Like, you realize this isn't just a background thing that we have to feed that makes mess. Yeah. This thing has become part of our life. I thought the believability in the relationship between Jennifer Aniston and Owen Wilson, 10 out of 10. Yeah. I was like, yes, this is what happens with couples. The man has to stay calm while the women decide to yell and scream, your mama's a bitch, basically, right? And we're like, I could knock you out, but I won't, because no. I think that's a really mean thing to say. You know? Yeah. You know, that point where you've been in that situation that Owen Wilson's been in, where I could say some stuff right now, but I won't. Yeah. I won't. You just say something like, you're being really difficult to be around at the moment. Anyway, their relationship was very believable. But dude, I was watching the end of this movie on the way back from Sardinia, and that scene. Dude, I'm on the Elizabeth line watching this, bawling. Bawling. I'm even getting watery-eyed now thinking about it. It was so bad. Like, I wasn't just like tears running down. It was like full on bawling. Someone in the train came up to me, put their hand on me. Like, are you okay? And I was like, it's a really sad movie.
Bro, I feel
so
it.
I was gone. I didn't care. Middle of the Elizabeth line, people look at me like, what is wrong with this guy? I'm like, I am moved. I am moved by what I am seeing.
I legit love the film. Legitimately love the film. And it's a one-time watch. But
it is a one-time watch. I agree.
Like, no, in the sense that I've watched it once, but it's imprinted on me. I do want to watch it again. And it's so much. And you know, it won't. Mind you, there's been a gap. There has been a gap, but you know what's coming, kind of thing. And that's the thing. When you expect what's coming, it will be. Do you know the part when I know that I could agree with you that Marley's a bad boy? It's when he says, we're going to break the rules, and he undoes the leash on the beach. And you're like, no. I was like, oh, God. Like, this dog will never be good. That's what I remember with that film.
And the movie tricks you into thinking, we've broken him. He's a good boy. No. No.
Yeah. Oh, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And as you said, that and scene. No, it's a beautiful film. Beautiful film. Yeah.
Oh, and what the oldest of the son says at the end. I don't need to say anything. He knows. It's like, oh God, kill me. It's my number one.
Yes.
I'm only going to put this down to the fact that you may not have seen this. It's old. And I watched it for the first time, and I really, really was like, am I in that, that term I use? Am I in that adrenaline prison where I'm on a high because I've seen something for the first time? And then I was like, not really, no, because as a movie, I wouldn't rank this higher than Fox and the Hound. I wouldn't rank this higher than definitely not a Marley and Me. As a movie, it's fine. It's enjoyable. It does absolutely nothing wrong. It's an easy watch. As a dog, bro, best doggone dog in the West.
Is this in Disney Plus? Yeah.
Old Yeller.
It was on the list of other Disney Plus movies I was going to watch, and I just missed it.
This dog is the greatest dog. This is the goodest of good dogs. This dog does everything that Marley does. This dog does everything that Sam does. This dog does everything this dog does what all the doggies do. This dog does everything. Saves, helps, alerts. And it's a really short, easy second, less than an hour and a half, this film. It's super short. It's a simple story about a family on a ranch. The dad goes away, And while he's away, they find this like kind of not feral, but wild golden retriever who just decides, you're my family now. And this golden retriever just decides that he's going to protect and serve this family and play with the young kid and then become close with the older kid and then help the mummy and then save the kids when they're in trouble and fight off bears and help them hunt. And it's like, you are legitimately the best dog ever. If like someone could paint a dog that does everything, it's Old Yeller. It's sad. It's not Marley and Me sad. It's not Fox and the Hound sad, but it's sad what happens at the end. But it's just for banter. I may put this on the top 10 Western movies just to really. Andy Hart, listening, love you, mate. But that one was for you. But yeah, Old Yeller, man, is the goodest of good dogs. Even in the song, "Here, Yeller, come back, Yeller, best dog on dog in the West." And he is the best dog on dog in the West.
You know, I the first time I know you brought this up once before, but I also remember the first time I ever heard Old Yeller was Shawn Michaels to Ric Flair, and I'm aware of what happens to Old Yeller.
Yes.
So yeah,
very good.
Okay, Rushmore time. I listen. I'm very, very adamant that Marley and Me has to go on. Like,
but is Marley a good dog?
But it's top movie dogs. We didn't say good or bad dogs. We said movie dogs.
Yeah. So is he a top movie dog?
Bro, do you know it's really funny? Because I was talking to my friend, and she's a golden retriever person. And she's like, you know what needs to be number one, don't you? And I was like, I don't know what your choice is, but it's Marley and Me. But she didn't hear me say that. And I didn't hear her response. I was like, so what was your film? And she's like, oh, I didn't hear you say Marley and Me. But yeah, that's the, like, Marley's the dog, man. Like, Marley is, that, again, the love I have for that film. I think anyone who has seen that film knows that it is the dog movie.
Well, we're gonna have to be careful about how we phrase this Rushmore then. Because now it's kind of like dog movie as opposed to movie dog. We're splitting hairs here. Have Marley and Me.
Thank you.
Can I take Old Yeller?
I will give you Old Yeller.
Do we have any other commonalities?
Does Milo make it in?
Listen,
Milo
we could have
Milo
and Homeward. Yeah, the Mask and Homeward Bound. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's in. Cool. Those were the punts. I mean, that's the rules of it.
Pretty much, if we have punch, they go in. Yeah, that's the commonality.
Cool.
Was there anything else? Because Marley and Me, you have because it's a commonality. Milo's a commonality. Homeward Bound's a commonality. I don't want to do myself and take out Old Yeller, but I don't think there was anything else. No, that was it. So I'm keeping Old Yeller.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Don't get me wrong. Hatchie and The Art of Racing in the Rain are to be seen. But if you've got Marley and Me, you're good. You know?
Bro, as is Up. Like, you must see Up.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But Hatchie, you may need to search. Art of Racing in the Rain?
I'm sure Hatchie's on Netflix.
I think it was. It's not anymore. But
all right.
Art of the Rain, Disney Plus. All right, let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official movie Mount Rushmore of good doggies. Good doggy. Who's a good doggy? Good movie dogs. In no particular order is
Marley and Me.
Our second entry is
Old Yeller.
Our third entry is
Milo from The Mask.
Our final entry into the movie Mount Rushmore of movie dogs is
The Dogs from Homeward Bound.
God, I can't wait to have my desk back. Just to build it.
I know that feeling, bro. I know that feeling. Okay, guys. All right. Yeah, just gonna wrap it up. Head on over to @movie Rushmore, and more importantly, @Movie Polls for you from good old JT. It's a retweet. You get to cast who is the best. Yeah, over to you, bro.
I didn't catch that part. You cut out. Sorry. You get a chance to blah, blah, blah.
I said to vote for the top dog of movie dogs.
Top dog of movie dogs. Thank you, as always, for joining us right here on the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast. Remember that if you're not subscribed to us already on YouTube, we post daily videos there every single day. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok for our daily reels, where we talk about the latest trending movie news. Going to be a lot of fun stuff coming out in the next few days. So follow us on those social platforms if you're not already. Otherwise, it's on Twitter if you want to see the poll, as AJ said, @Movie Rushmore. And please, please, please do, if you're listening to some podcast, do be sure to give this podcast a share and a like. But until next week, guys, we will be talking. What are we talking about next week, actually, AJ? Let's give people a sample. What are we doing next week? So we did dogs this week. Oh, AJ. Next week, it is the official induction of AJ as a cinephile.
Oh, are we there? Oh, sugar.
We are there.
Okay, cool.
We are there. Oh,
Okay.
That should be fun. So, yes, next week, guys, we will be doing the top 10 movies every cinephile should watch. What makes a cinephile? Find out next week, right here on Movie Mount Rushmore. Until then, I'm Nico Lero.
I'm the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
See ya.
See ya.